fucked up bad, so we're just gonna have to hurry. Hold on. Almost fucked up on Mario. There we go. My family had me pick up food from like 3 different places. The final place being Burger King. And they only have 2 fucking people working for some reason, and they're busy as hell. It was a little sad. So I was there for like an hour. Sucks. Hi, Barrington. How's it going? What the hell? Seconds before going live just now, I had a chicken nugget with a fucking bone in it. A really small bone. Hold on. You can't see that, but... trying to kill me. Oops. Hold on, I have to cough really loud. Okay, all good. Do not foam. I just have mucus in my throat. Disgusting. Bro is full of slime. I took my antacid for the day. We're all good. Dude. I have to do laundry today. Give me 1 second. Is it working? Um, Not really, because I pause it because it does like the annoying. I don't know. I think it's supposed to be. I'm probably just not doing it right. Because it'll always play like a backup first, so I have to skip it. I probably just have to look more into it to do it properly. This is fine though. I've got nothing better to do. This is a nice song. I wasn't paying attention. Give me 2 seconds. We're good. Oh, is this song over? What the fuck? How was that too slow? Oh well. Oh, okay. fucking this up crazy bad. Okay. I might have to count. Okay. Did that work? Why are some of these just not marked as music? That's so crazy. I queued it up. It'll play after this. Maybe I should get rid of that setting, I guess. You're very welcome. There's like a setting you can put to where it only accepts like music links. I'll turn that off once I get this. The last one, I'm sorry. It's not annoying at all. I like listening to new music. And it's not like I'm doing an actual real run, so it's like... we're just chilling. It would be cool if it worked with Spotify instead of YouTube. We're fucking finally free. Oops. Where it's seamless and no actions required on the streamer's part. Yeah, my settings are probably just really, really bad. I kind of just watched the one tutorial and didn't look too much into it. Like, I know Gappy's is really seamless. That's like my only real exposure to Immediate Request. Hello? Oops. 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 Dude, it's so difficult. This shit pisses me off bad. Oh my god. Okay, that's fine. Okay! This fucking Goomba, dude. Hello? Can we stop trolling just a little bit? Oh my god.
Here we go!
I think... shit. The fastest I've gotten through Dark World with save states is like 52 seconds. Which is okay, I guess. I just need to lock in.
Here we go! Here we go!
Thank you, Nightfall.
Here we go!
Locking in. We are locking the freak in!
Let's go!
Shit. First try. Hate to see it. That's too close. Really sad. Holy shit. This song is awesome. Can we jump over the damned fence? Does anyone know? My fault. Okay. Oops. Wait, look at this. Too many of these are open. I think I'm nudging up too hard. Oops. I keep making these silly little mistakes here. Let's just calm down. That first one was probably just fine. Why did I think it was too far? God damn it. I'm so fucking sorry. Womps forever. I'm gonna freak out. Please. What? Fucking finally. Sadly, we have to get it one more time. Oops. Should have dove. Okay. I'm comfortable now. Surely we can lock in. Never fucking mind. Oops. We are free. That's my bad. Jumped on it too late. I don't know what's going on with me and jumping out of this tree lately. It's so bad. Thank you. 13. Huge. Oh, I forgot Steam was open. The notification just scared me. Huge. We're good.
Here we go! Hegel!
Yeah.
This is not good, I think. Yeah, it's not good. That one could have been fine. Why did the playlist stop? Oh shit. Oh my god. You understand it for like 1 second and then the knowledge is completely gone. Many such cases. Please, God. Fuck. Oh my god. I saw the line and now it's gone. Wait. Dude. Fuck my fuck life. I don't want to go over here, but that's fine. We made it. We done it. We're free. We can live our lives.
Here we go! Hegel!
Ow! Holy shit. Body roll. Why did I do that? It was almost a perfectly timed point. Sure. Shit! Honestly, I don't even remember what you're supposed to do after you touch the damn bird anyways. If I ever get the bird off of that, I'm gonna have to watch the video again, I'm pretty sure. Why are these people ruining my life? I didn't even move the mouse off the screen, it just went back. I really just want to touch the pillar one more time. I'm kind of sick of SSL. Imagine. Crazy. Why didn't he jump? I thought that was gonna ledge grab, so I just kind of gave up, and it was just completely gone. Happens all the time. We can leave this place.
Peggle.
I'm scared. Damn! Come on! It's not that hard. Hi, Scones! Hi, how's it going? I'm doing good as well. I spent an hour in Burger King picking up food that my family ordered. But other than that, it's been really fine. Glad that you're doing well. An hour? Yeah, they had 2 fucking people working. Like, how are you gonna have 2 people working when you have a special fucking menu item? That's crazy! I felt so bad, because the order I was picking up was kind of big too. Like, I'm so sorry. It was like an hour because I spent like 20 minutes waiting behind someone at the drive-thru, and I was like, they're not taking this guy's order. So I had to go inside. And they were actively talking about not taking drive-thru orders at all. What? It's so sad. And then one of the chicken nuggets I ate had a bone in it. A little bone. Or something, I don't know. It looks like a bone. I'm never making this jump. I don't think I want to listen to this song right now. Sure. We're good. That's just not right. Walking too forward, walking a little less forward. We gotta figure this shit out, dude. There we go. Oh. that difficult anymore. Shit! Oh, that's too classic. One more time. Shit. I dove too early. What the fuck am I doing? That's my bad for letting go. Let's not fuck this up. We'll take it. Really bad times on this star. It's okay, that's why we practice. Oh shit! I did not think that was gonna work. I need
Peggle.
to remember to grab the Toad Star after this. I fucked that up yesterday. My bad! Just the apple.
Here we go! Peggle.
Holy shit. Really? Wow. Hi, Drew. Thank you for subscribing again. I appreciate it. How is it going, buddy? Buddy. Wow, 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 wow. Wah, wah, wah. I fucked that up. Can you do a peace sign on cam? Give me 1 second. Wait, check this out. Epic! Was it a little awesome sauce? As well. Epic with the awesome sauce. Epic burger with the awesome sauce. There you go. I think we can get this from the beginning now. Let's see. Shit, I didn't turn. What the hell is this? Oops. I'm going to have an epic burger later. Oh shit, that actually made it. Huge. We're free from this. Now it's time for the really, really hard one. That's actually not that hard, but you know. Oops. Let's press the right button. What the hell? I think that is fucked up. Sadly. Wow. Why is the wall jump so fucking hard? So freaking hard, sorry. Let's ledge grab a little bit, please. Thank you. What is happening? Go to bed, have swim before work tomorrow. Thank you for stopping by, Drew. Hope your swim and work goes well tomorrow. Thank you. Holy shit, first try. That's crazy. Oh my god, it's easy! Oops, now it's gonna be hard. What the hell is this? Holy shit, this song's awesome. I had to go and get greedy. I couldn't be fine with just 2 good attempts. Let's not get greedy. It's good. We're fine. She says, and she's right. It depends on me. Oh shit. Oops. Damn! Shit! I could have grabbed him. What am I doing? trolling. How was that? That works. Oh, well, that's fine. That works. No, it doesn't. Oops. Cool. We're almost done. That was so good, and I fucked it up so bad. You really hate to see that. Sorry. Thank you! I almost fucked that one up really bad too. Because I thought it wasn't gonna work. Alright, one more success and then we can go to pros and... I don't know. What the fuck? I'll probably just end. Is Twitch chat genuinely not working? What the fuck? That's completely fine. I'll browse itch for a second if nothing seems interesting. We are free. What the hell happened? God, this controller sucks ass, dude. My bad.
저렴하게 나오죠. 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 저렴하게 나오죠.
Sophie. Fuck, dude, I have work tomorrow. That's so cringe. Aga. Hi, Ellie. How's it going, buddy? I am going to browse itch in a few seconds, and if there's nothing interesting, I don't know.
Mario! The power of the stars is restored to the castle.
Dude, this thing looks like it's about to explode.
And it's all thanks to you. Thank you,
This
Mario.
fucking melon drink, I'm kind of
We have
scared
to
of
do
it.
something special for you.
It's like really hard to squeeze too.
Here we go.
Listen, everybody. Let's bake a delicious cake. For Mario. Mario!
Okay, cool. Um. Boys love. Wait. Play in browser. Is this okay? Can you survive the night with a vampire? Yaoi gaming? Why the fuck not? We're gonna do a yaoi horror. Surely nothing bad. There's nothing, like, too bad. Play Fruit Basket! Ref? Frankenstein's Catboy. Yaoi horror? I've got 2 right now that we can play in the browser. Do we want the vampire boyfriend one? Or do we want this one? Looks sports related. Or is there something else? Oh. Midnight at Circle K. I asked him if he hates me and he said no, but like I don't know if I can believe him because you can't blindly trust Luna. Why would Luna lie? Oh, did I say hi, Kieran? Hi, Kieran. I don't remember. Reaper's right. Sever the seal or sacrifice your soul. Because he lies all the time. We're gonna play the vampire one. Wait, it's fine, right? It would tell you if it's like NSFW, surely, right? Gay yaoi. Surely. Sexual situations, adult jokes, violence, recurring mentions and allusions of blood, alcohol and tobacco use, manipulation and lurking, death and murder, moving sprites, and occasional screen shake. Okay. Oh, it's Renki. This is loud. Is that fine? Bun meat bat. Hold on. Wait! His footsteps echo across the damp pavement, a mocking jeer to his plight. And as he clutches his bag to his chest, he can feel his heart screaming at him. A harried cacophony thrumming along the surface of his skin and making his eyes blur with tears of frustration. Stop! Wait! He wills his feet faster, but already his knees feel like jelly, threatening to collapse with each renewed step. And he can feel the laces of his brown Oxfords beginning to loosen and flap. He reaches out, fingers stretched and trembling against the dark backdrop of the city skyline. Please, 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 please. But it's too late. My first choice Sunday streamer. Hi, Roop. Without so much as a pause, the bus currently idling at the E Grand Avenue stop closes its doors shut with an air of finality and pulls away, leaving behind nothing but a plume of diesel-dyed exhaust fumes in its wake. It's with a melancholic slump that Ignatius? Iggy Maxwell slows down to a stop at the now empty bus stop. Also a half trip over his loosened Oxfords and about a gallon of cold sweat leaking down his back, but that's neither here nor there. He stands there, chest heaving, muscles quivering, and the faint taste of copper on his tongue, as he watches the lights of the downtown bus disappear around the far corner in forlorn dejection. This is a bad idea. Crap! He wipes at his forehead. Coughs. Crap, crap, crap. Not his day, not his day, not his day. First, his code getting ripped to shreds in the day's code review session. Then someone stealing his pepperoni mustard sandwich out of the break room kitchen. And now this. When all he wants to do is get home, change into sweats, and slay the hell out of an infected gore cyclops and Didon for an hour or 5. He shifts his bag over his other arm so he can check his watch. 7:05. Yet already dark as all get out. That's fall for you. Leave for work in the dark, get home in the dark. Dark, 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 dark. At least the changing leaves and pumpkins sprouting up on people's doorsteps gives him a few sparks of joy here and there. With a half-hearted wander towards the nearby timetable, he checks for the next bus. Nearly an hour from now. This day just can't stop getting any better, can it? He can walk home faster than that. He glances back at the bench. The street lamp is casting it in eerie high contrast, dark shadows stretching across the sidewalk towards the black mass of brush and trees backdropping it. Cobweb-like shadows from the branches overhead dance across the scratched surface of the pavement, each shuddering breath of wind sending them into frenzied staccato, while dry leaves tumble and scrape past the bench's dull rusted legs. One particularly garish one bouncing its way all the way over to the toe of his Oxford. Fuck! He grimaces. Yes, perhaps a walk wouldn't be that bad after all. He could use the exercise. It's not like he just ran a marathon down half of Grand just to get here or anything. He takes a moment to tidy himself, reknotting his shoes, fixing his collar, running a hand through the mussed curls of his white hair. Then claps his hand together in a gesture of, can we use words? Peremptory self-motivation and sets off. Down the rest of Grand, then turn right at Ash, 5 blocks on First, then left onto Cindy. 30 minutes max. Then he'll be wrapped up in his oversized hoodie and shooting down harpies like mother effing Legolas. I'm sorry. You've got this, Iggy. His homeward trek starts strong. He's got a crisp groove to his step, his shoulders are back, and he's making good time. All the way to Ash in only 10 minutes, and 10 skyward curses towards himself for choosing today to forget his headphones in his morning scuffle at the door. Because he sure as heck would be really benefiting from them right about now. It's when he's about 2 blocks down Ash that he starts losing steam. His steps have lost their crispness and his breath has grown more labored, bringing his somewhat impressive speed walk down to a less awe-inspiring amble. He wipes at the sweat beneath his collar, wishing perhaps just slightly that he hadn't started off so ambitious. Happens to us all. It's when he hits the small industrial neighborhood between Ingersoll and Ingram, though, that it starts to really catch up to him. And he has to take a moment to stop and catch his breath, hand against the slick sliding of an old car shop as he blames his reclusive tendencies for not getting out nearly as much as he should. He coughs, leans back against the gray vinyl cladding. There's no one around. Not even any cars rumbling past. The stoplight a few yards back is one of those hanging ones, rocking back and forth in a chilly night breeze with low, groaning creaks. A sparkle of unease coils its way up his spine. He shoos it away. Another cough, a bit phlegmier this time. And he uses his propulsion to push himself up and away from the side of the building. What are you, 5? You've got to stop getting spooked by every little... He stops. Because he definitely definitely hears something. In the alleyway, just a few steps ahead of him, he goes deathly still, just listening. Listening. It's a fleshy noise. Visceral and unsettling. Hold on. Ew. Rustling. Then slurping. Almost lewd sounding as if this were any other situation. Short, panted breaths, followed by what sounds like a strained groan. The heck? This time, the sparkle in his spine lights into a firecracker. And he goes ramrod straight, not even swallowing as his eyes lock onto the strip of black that's the alleyway just up ahead. An animal. But something about it sounds so human. He takes a hesitant step forward. He has to cross in front of the alleyway just to continue his journey home, which is making him really wish he'd chosen a different building against which to muse over his debilitating lack of athleticism. God, it's louder now. And more voracious. Strange, juicy pops interspersed with desperate gulps of air. Another groan, this one making an uncomfortable flush rise to his cheeks. Hello? He says without thinking, without even realizing perhaps. Moving just close enough that he can peer into the darkened alleyway. His eyes narrow against the black nothing but permeating umbra meeting his gaze. Is someone there? The noise is stopped abruptly. Silence for a moment. Followed by rapid movement. And Iggy swears he can see something shift swiftly within that expanse of shadow. He swallows hard. Takes a step back. Wait, I forgot Kieran hates that shit. Sorry. It starts as a tingle on the back of his neck, followed by a dull chill rooting itself in the deepest, darkest recesses of his chest. He can't breathe. He can't blink. It's like his ribs are trapped in a vice. And with each passing moment, it's squeezing tighter and tighter against his diaphragm. Steps. Someone. Or something is approaching him. From the piercing black of the alleyway, his fingers are trembling now. He can't seem to move. Can only look straight into that undulating massive shadow at the very air around him seems to quake with something latent, something augural, something hungry. Welling up, filling up, choking his lungs. His mouth opens, but no sound escapes. It's huge. Whatever it is, it's huge. He can sense it. Feel it all over his skin. See it in the roiling penumbra, growing taller and taller, towering over him as the steps get closer and closer. And he swears. He swears! He can see two glowing red eyes, piercing dots gazing ravenously down upon him from on high. Run, 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 run! This screaming thought must activate something in the back of his mind because he feels his finger give a twitch, and he manages to slide one of his feet backwards, a rough, gravelly scrape against the pavement. Run, 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 run! He jerks back, twists on his heels, and... Yeesh, can't a gent get some fucking privacy around here anymore? God damn! Iggy stops, blinks. Stares at the short, portly man that's just stepped out of the alleyway. He's just some random guy. Some completely normal-looking random guy. What were you doing back there? He manages to eke out, his throat giving an embarrassing squeak. Taking a piss! That ain't illegal, is it? Oh. Iggy stands there. The man stands there. Neither one saying a word. Iggy finds himself at a loss at the sight. The man in front of him is not at all what he expected to walk out of that alley. Well, truth be told, he's not sure what he'd expect to walk out of that alley. But it certainly hadn't been the short, chubby fellow staring up at him reproachfully from behind his sunglasses. Sunglasses at night. That's strange, isn't it? Or not? Iggy's not even sure what he should consider strange at this point. I know, I'm a thing of beauty, but you don't gotta stare, bud. The man snickers, which jerks Iggy out of his reverie. Oh gosh, oh geez, I'm sorry. I'm having a bit of a moment. Iggy runs a hand through his sweaty bangs with a sheepish laugh. You sound tall, the man says simply, reaching into his back pocket for what ends up being a carton of cigarettes. Lucky Strikes, to be specific. Oh, I like that. Iggy tugs at his collar, blinks. Thank you? The man follows up with a wide grin as he bumps out a cigarette into his palm. To Velma x Shaggy. What did he mean by this? He brings it to his lips. It's at this point that Iggy notices the trail of blood leaking down from the paunchy man's mouth. His eyes widen. Are you hurt? Huh? There's blood coming from your mouth. The man stops. Brings a finger to his lip, pulling it through the red streak. Well, I'll be. I took a hit back there. Bastard of a pipe jutting out right where I pulled it, wouldn't you know? Didn't think it hit me quite that hard, though. Sure. Perhaps due to some sort of residual guilt at interrupting this poor man in the middle of relieving himself, Iggy pulls out the small pack of tissues he always carries and keeps in his bag. Let me look at it for you, he says before promptly leaning in to take the man's chin. Whoa, whoa, whoa! With a half-second delay, the man jerks backward. Holy fucking hell! Warn a guy before you go in for the kill! I'm just checking, it's not too serious. You don't have to... The man trails off, cigarette nearly falling to the ground between his slackening lips. Iggy's hands are careful as he examines the damage. Or, well, lack of visible damage. Because he can't seem to find any gouge or scratch where the blood might be coming from. He gently wipes at the reddish trail with his tissue before pulling back on the man's lips to check for gum damage. This is a normal thing to do. Only for his eyes to widen in awe. Your teeth are huge! There's a puff of laughter against his fingers. Is that some kind of pickup line? Iggy's cheeks flush red with a snap, and he jerks backwards, wave of shame and embarrassment washing over him. Sorry, that was weird, wasn't it? I'm always saying weird things. He tugs awkwardly at his fingers, starting to wish he'd had a big hole to drop into. Nah, weird is good. The man grins widely again, tucking a finger inside his lip to tug it back. Genetic, he says simply. Dad's side. Or, he cocks his head. No, yeah, Dad's side. He finally flicks the lighter on, holding a hand against the wind as he brings it up to the tip of his cigarette. Once he gets it burning, he leans his head back to let out a small plume of smoke into the air. Want one? He offers the carton. Iggy shakes his head. Nothing. He blinks. No, thank you, he says after another beat of silence. And the man shrugs, tucking the carton back into his pocket. Silence again. Iggy watches the smoke curling up above the man's head, the way his stubbled lips wrap leisurely around the filter with each drag. I like one after a meal, the man says as though in explanation after the silence stretches another long beat. Oh. The man cocks his head, and Iggy sees his nostrils twitch. You know, you smell pretty good. Iggy blinks, stands up a bit straighter. He's unsure how to respond. The shorter man moves in towards him, his nose going like crazy now. So close to Iggy's chest that he's forced to lean backwards. Holy shit. Then just as abruptly moving to the side of him, the back, lifting his arm up and sniffing around his wrist. Fuck, you smell really good. Thank you? You smell like cigarettes. Iggy watches in confounded wonderment. And grease. The man seems to take notice of his odd behavior, sliding back around to Iggy's front with a sheepish laugh. You'll have to forgive me. Been a bit of a drought lately if you catch my drift. He prods his elbow in the air. Did they turn off your water? Oh, did they turn off your water? Iggy's eyes widen in concern. The man blinks, staring up at him blankly. then snorts with such fervor that smoke billows out his nostrils in humorous-looking smoke puffs. Fuck, you're cute! Only Iggy has trouble making out the words between the subsequent coughs. Huh? You're a hoot! The man sucks on a large drag, holding it for a moment before slowly releasing it into the air. You always this charming, or has Lady Luck blessed me this fine night? Iggy's cheeks warm, and he scratches at his nose, feeling all of a sudden bashful. Charming is not a word anyone has ever used about him before. I've been working on my owl impersonations. This makes the man guffaw with laughter, his belly jostling beneath his thick sweater. You, sir, are something else. A grin, stretching from ear to ear, his two large canines jutting out like misaligned nails. He jerks out his hand. Genzo, he says simply, as the joke rolls out between his lips. Iggy smiles in response, taking the hand with a cheery shake. Iggy! His fingers feel decidedly thin in Genzo's thick grip. Iggy, that's nice, that's nice. Up, down, up, down. Oh shit. Left click opens up a menu. The cigarette bobs in time with the bounce of their hands. Genzo releases Iggy's hand, clearing his throat as he lets out another puff of smoke. What's a sweet-sounded chap like you doing wandering around empty streets in the dark, eh? Iggy sheepishly curls a lock of hair around his finger. I missed the bus. Well, ain't them the pits. I'm real sorry about that. No, it was my own fault. Genzo taps the ash off his cigarette, bringing it back to his lips. Light, dark. It glows in and out in the dim streetlight as he seems to mull about something in his head. You got yourself a bike. A bike? No, I don't. Genzo starts scrounging around his pockets. First the left, sending a few balls of lint onto the ground between cheery metal clinks and clanks. Then to the right, clamping his cigarette between his lips so he can use both hands to fish through the contents. Finally, he pulls out a small rectangular card, giving it a little flick before handing it over. My card, he says. He says around the edges of the cigarette. I'm sorry. Iggy takes it in bemusement, brows arching. It's clearly an old card, somewhat off-color and boasting a brown stain on one edge. But the print is still legible, as well as the small bike and wrench clip art in the corner. Bikes at the Brook. 14 East Staten Road. Your bikes are our delight. You have a shop. Genzo grunts in response, tossing the remainder of his cigarette to the ground and stamping it with the toe of his shoe. You fix bikes? Yeah, but I always get a few on sale. Good ones, too. Not like that shit at Wally World. So you should come down and check them out sometime. Then, with a little twist of his sunglasses, I'll give you a discount. Oh, that's so kind! Iggy's eyes waver as he continues taking in the card, guilt nibbling at his toes. It's just... He swallows. It's been quite a while since I've ever ridden a bike, so I'm not really sure, you know? Genzo pauses a moment, simply looking up at him in silence. This is their favorite word. Before his lips widen back into that shit-eating grin. He lets out a guffaw. Ain't that true of us all? He reaches to slap Iggy's shoulder, but hits him right in the gut instead, which expels a little gasp of air between his lips. You're a funny guy, Iggs. Don't you worry your cute little head. I've got a certain, knack for helping a gent get back on the bike, as it were. So you've got nothing to worry about. Really? Iggy's eyes widen in awe. You'd help me? Genzo reaches towards him, seems to struggle for a moment, patting across the length of Iggy's chest and arm. Then finds Iggy's hand, lifting it up towards his lips. He takes a big whiff of the underside of Iggy's wrist with a smile. For you, my sweet-smelling morsel of warm-blooded ambrosia, anything. He plants his lips on Iggy's palm with a delicate flourish, stubble tickling his skin. Iggy's cheeks flush a brilliant pink, and he blinks in overwhelmed silence. Oh! Now then, at the moment, I do in fact have places I need to be. So you'll have to excuse me, as much as it pains me to say. Genzo splays his hand. Genzo splays his hands in an over-embellished shrug. Iggy shakes his head rapidly, finding it hard to do much of anything else as the blood continues to pound through his cheeks. No, it's okay. Almost as though he can hear the rapid thundering of his heart, Genzo chuckles. Don't let that blood boil too much for me now. Iggy curls the same lock of hair behind his ear again and again. Alright, well, you stay safe now. Genzo tilts the edge of his sunglasses down again. And drop by any time. My door's always open. With a hum, he reaches for the thin cylinder of retracted metal hooked to his belt loop, flicking it out onto a full-length cane. Then turns on his heels, the marshmallow tip of the cane dancing back and forth across the length of the sidewalk in front of him with each step. Iggy watches him go, his eyes slowly narrowing. Wait a minute. His mind starts spinning with everything Genzo had to say to him during their short conversation. The illusions that Iggy hadn't quite gotten at first, that only now are starting to click together. The blood on his lip, the strong sense of smell, the sunglasses in the dark. Genzo is... His eyes narrow further. Genzo is... You're blind?! Ahead of him, Genzo abruptly trips, nearly staggering to the ground. The fuck? I thought that was pretty damn obvious! I'm sorry, I didn't know! Overwhelmed, Iggy goes running off in the opposite direction, his oxfords clapping against the sidewalk. He doesn't stop until he reaches the end of the next block, huffing and puffing as he rounds a nearby apartment building and stops to catch his breath, leaning back against the brick. Sweat and shame dapple his cheeks, but when he pulls the card back out of his pocket, gazing down at the off-color paper perched between his fingers, he can't keep the small smile off his face. Bikes at the brook. He bites down on his tongue, cheeks still warm. Your bikes are our delight. He clenches his eyes shut with an embarrassed squeak, quickly tucking the card back into his pocket. Maybe today hadn't been so bad after all. How long is this? Why did I pick a fucking visual novel, dude? Help! What you looking at? Iggy jerks back with a start, the card flying out of his hands as his backside flips inward, leading to a swift slide down the front of his computer chair and an even swifter thud on the carpet below. His legs pretzeled upwards and his head resting unceremoniously on the wheeled legs of the chair. He groans, his vision swimming. That was an overreaction if there ever was one. Barrick whistles nonchalantly as he snatches the fluttering card out of the air. Bikes at the brook. You don't even own a bike. Iggy rolls over with a defeated slump, hands to the fresh bump on the back of his head as he attempts to... Wait, I can't read. I'm so sorry. We love visual novels. They are kind of awesome. Give me a second. Iggy rolls over with a defeated slump, hand to the fresh bump on the back of his head as he attempts to crawl out from under his desk. Yeah, well, maybe I was thinking of getting one. You? Barrick's eyes brighten with a mischievous flash. The man we had to send a search party for the day the elevator broke down. It was a lot of steps. We're on the second floor. Iggy forces a chuckle, fixing the angle of his chair wheels before sitting back down, his hair mussed and his collar twisted. Maybe I'm a changed man. He reaches for the card. Barrick whisks it out of reach, which elicits a whine from Iggy. If you're a changed man, I'm a 14-karat gold statue of Jean-Claude Van Damme, and I'll be Von Damned before I let anyone Claude my Jean. What does that even mean? It means the Ignatius Maxwell I know wouldn't be over here all morning snoogling over such athletic aspirations as bicycular pursuits. Hello? He wraps the edge of the card right on the crown of Iggy's head. Now tell me your true intentions with this piece of cardstock or you're not getting it back. Barrick! Barrick responds with a sharp-angled glare aimed straight at the rounded tip of Iggy's oversized nose. Iggy is forced to relent. With an awkward brush of his bangs, he drops his gaze, and in a voice as soft as cheese, mumbles, "A guy gave it to me." Barrick is sitting on his desk in 1 second flat, hands perched coquettishly on his lap. Oh, do tell! There's nothing to tell! Nothing? I need details! In the 5 years we've known each other, not once have you delved into your current, nor a current, amorous proclivities. But now you can't stop going googly-eyed at a business card. So I need to know everything there is to know about this gentleman that's so enraptured the inscrutable Rubik's Cube that is Iggy Maxwell's heart. Shit is too hard to read. Iggy feels the heat starting to build in his cheeks, and he involuntarily begins to mess with the collar of his shirt, buttoning and unbuttoning it over and over again. I met him last night. He just seemed really nice. And then in a barely audible mumble, he made me feel special. Special? I see. Barrick is crouched next to him now, elbow perched on the desk as he moves in closer. And what is he like? I need to know what catches those wide rabbit eyes of yours. Tall, rugged, wildly and brutally ripped to the point he could bench 5 of you over dinner. He was actually kind of short. Oh, short king, I see. Or more, really short. Uh-huh. And a little chubby, and he smelled like grease, and smokes like a chimney, and doesn't seem to shave. He looked a bit like he'd been sleeping out in the street all night. Iggy laughs sheepishly as the red painting his cheeks increases by leaps with every passing second. Barrick's eyes narrow in confusion. But he was just really charming, I guess. I liked how he made me feel. Iggy wrings his hands together in his lap, unable to meet Barrick's gaze. No one's ever made me feel like that before. It was nice. Barrick sighs. Iggy. Then reaches up to poke Iggy's forehead with the tip of his index finger. Are you listening to yourself? You're grade A fortified smitten. I'm not! You are, and your objections are hereby and forthwith overruled. Barrick slaps the business card against Iggy's forehead where his fingers had just been, making Iggy squeak. Now, I assume you plan on paying a visit to this, unique-sounding man's place of business, yes? At this, Iggy grows bashful, nervously fixing his glasses. I don't know. What? Mr. Lagar, sir, there's been a problem detected in the server mesh distribution algorithm. A player is exploiting it to turn thousands and thousands of in-game meshes into a giant Not now! Can't you see I'm busy with something important? Barrick takes Iggy's shoulder, pulling him to his feet. Walk with me. The two of them exit the main development office, following the two-toned abstract pattern of the carpet down the hallway towards the second-floor balcony. The tension is palpable, it really is. Along the way, Barrick stops at the vending machine, taking a moment to key in the numbers for a can of Jack's Pumpkin Soda, Iggy's soda of choice. Pressing it wordlessly into Iggy's hands before continuing on to the outer door. The backdrops are really pretty. Now, Barrick turns to him once they're outside on the small balcony overlooking the downtown park, pausing for a moment as Iggy pops open the tab of the soda. What is instilling this doubt within your loins, young Maxwell? Iggy takes a noisy slurp, soda fizz dribbling down his chin. He sniffs. Hiccups. It's just... what if he doesn't like me? Did he not give you his card? Clearly he has interest. But why? I'm nothing special. I'm boring and drab, and I've never been in a relationship before. I don't even know what to do. What if he just hasn't realized that? What if he finds out the real me and scrams the heck out? Tiny tears have started to well up in the corners of Iggy's eyes. It's that serious. Potentially from the carbonation. Varric sighs, a soft smile forming on his lips. He places his hands on Iggy's shoulders with a comforting squeeze. First off, no. Sure, you may need to learn to leave your apartment more, but you're not boring. You can be very silly and sweet, and you always bring a smile to my face. Really? Iggy's eyes warble. Second, drab, please, look at this chic you've got going on. You turn dev work into rev work. Vroom, vroom. Varric mimics the motions of a motorbike with his hand. Iggy stares up at him blankly, glances down at his current attire, then back up. He blinks. Varric moves on. Third, none of that even matters, because clearly this guy already saw what he wanted, or else he wouldn't have given you that card or charmed the socks off of you. Varric taps down from Iggy's forehead to his nose and to his chin. You may not have any relationship experience, but you've got 31 years of experience being yourself, which is all you need. And all you'll ever need if this is the right guy for you, Iggy's bottom lip starts to tremble. Starting as a wibbling quiver, then building into a full-blown warbling vibrato as the tears start running hot, salty rivulets down his cheeks. Varric! He throws himself at Varric's chest, burying his face into the taller man's shirt as he weeps freely, hiccuping pumpkin-flavored bubbles between each hitch of his throat. Varric takes a startled step back, then returns the embrace with a knowing sigh, running his hand up and down Iggy's shuddering back. Yeah. You really think he won't think I'm too weird or something? No, I don't. And anyone who does think that doesn't deserve you. Plus, I'll murder them in their sleep. Iggy chuckles, snot and phlegm catching in the back of his throat. Thanks, Varric. Anytime, anywhere. A pause. Though, if you could, maybe stop pouring pumpkin soda into my shoes. Iggy blinks, realizes he's got the can upside down with a stream of orange bubbly liquid aimed straight at Varric's loafers. Pulls back with a snap. Sorry. Not a problem at all. I'll just charge them to your employee account. What? Kidding. I'll charge them to Jerry's. He'll never notice. Dude. Okay, let's go back inside. It's drafty out here. Yeah, I was starting to lose feeling in my ears. That's no good. What if he wants to nibble on your ears tonight? I've known a few ear nibblers in my There's not gonna be any ear nibbling. And when did I say I was going over today? That was implied. You gotta strike while the iron's hot. Or in this case, hot and bothered. Now, let's go figure out what you're going to wear. I hate you so much. You need to tell me where you found this guy. I could use a roguish yet charming alley man in my life. Been going through a bit of a drought lately. Drought?! How are we feeling? It's in one of his new sweaters and a denim jacket that Varric had described as sassy but shy that Iggy shows up at 14E Staten Road. Feeling just a tad bit sweaty and a heaping load of jittery. It's a small shop nestled between a liquor store and an electrician's. Quite unassuming on the outside, from its sun-bleached sign to its AstroTurf sheathed front stoop, complete with doormat reading, "Come in for a wheelie great time!" Inside, it's no less homely. Wall-to-wall, sepia-slathered wood paneling. Bikes lining up a set of racks along the right-hand wall, most of them in various states of wear and tear. Metal shelves of bike parts and tools with neon yellow price stickers slapped askew on their packaging. And a jingle-jangling bell, loud in the otherwise silent interior, to announce his arrival. He grimaces. So much for giving himself an easy out if he loses his nerve. Now the whole world knows he's here. Or he blinks. There's no one around. And no one appearing at the sound of his entrance either. Least of all the orange-capped gentleman who had been so monopolizing his thoughts for a good part of the last 24 hours. He itches at his wrist where the sweater is starting to scratch him, looks around. There's a register towards the back. Currently unoccupied, but perhaps it will provide him with some sort of clue. This mucus is ruining my fucking life. So he wanders back through the aisles of velocipedal apparati, pretending to show interest in a contraption or two, just in case, along the way. When he reaches the back and there's still no sign of anyone, nor any signage explaining the absence, he comes to an awkward stop. At first, just staring at the counter with its oversized button-wielding cash register. Is that Braille on those labels? He's too nervy to look closer. Then shifting his gaze to the back wall and the various ads, for sale signs, flyers, and pull-off tabs for cycling lessons stapled directly into the paneling at erratic intervals. There's also one for what appears to be a strip club, topped by a crudely drawn diagram of a penis. Iggy wonders if Genzo knows it's there. His ears perk up when he makes out the sound of music drifting up from under a door to the right. A back room? Of course there's a back room, that's only logical. He's clearly not whipping out his Phillips head in the middle of the showroom. These thoughts percolating in his mind, he finds himself moving to the door without really thinking about it. And the fact that it's ajar only tempts his curiosity further. He pushes it softly, just enough that he can peek inside. A dim workshop meets his eyes. Dim on account of the thick curtains that appear to have been affixed over the clerestory windows on high. Though lit well enough by a few bulbs buzzing overhead. Shelves and boxes line the sides, stuffed to the brim with an assortment of curiously shaped metal bric-a-brac. And a large workbench stretches the length of the back wall, boasting peg after peg of colorful tools, many of which Iggy's never seen before in his life. Which is perhaps not saying much, but feels vital enough to mention. It's a rusty, dusty atelier redolent with the aroma of grease, gears, and wood chips, but something about it puts Iggy's mind at ease. The warm intimacy of it, perhaps, a cozy nook hidden away from the bustle of city life. Or the man occupying it, who's currently swaying to the beat of the music as he sweeps up strewn bike impedimenta, with sashaying flourishes about the alcove. He's getting pretty into it, too. First, timing each sweep with the song's rhythmic cadences, then spinning back, dipping the handle of the broom with a twist. All the while shaking his tush back and forth with swooping sways of his hips. Iggy brings a hand to his mouth, lips curling into a small smile. Now, Genzo starts moonwalking as he sweeps backwards, his shoes sliding across the dusty floor. With one arm, he feels out the location of his workbench, sliding the broom bristles along its bottom edge in percussive thrusts that sync with each clap of the hi-hat. Another spin, this one taking him towards the duo of bikes currently saddled in their stands in the states of half repair. He embraces the first, running his fingers almost lovingly up the frame, before promptly lifting it clear off the ground, stand and all, in one single-handed swoop. Iggy's jaw drops nearly to the floor. Genzo sweeps beneath where the bike had just been sitting, looking no more encumbered than he had been 2 seconds ago, before he'd had a 25-plus pound bike in his hand. But nothing prepares Iggy for when Genzo drops the broom entirely to lift the other bike in his opposite hand, holding them both aloft as if they were no more than papier-mâché crafts. We're not saying that. Papier. Iggy's eyes widen, and he feels a warm, tingly heat rise to his cheeks, his heart quickly accelerating into rapid staccato. Almost as though hearing this, Genzo comes to a sudden stop. And he whirls around, dropping both bikes instantly. Who the fuck's here? He storms over to the radio, slamming it off just as Iggy shuffles nervously into the room. His shoulders are curled in so low he's liable to topple right over. Sorry, the door was open, so I just... Genzo's nose twitches, and he visibly perks up. Well, damn! I'd remember that smell anywhere, if it isn't my late-night Lothario, walking his sweet, sweet sanguinary nectar into my humble shop. He brings a thumb up to smooth back the musk tussle of bang beneath his hat, adjusting his glasses with a wide grin. I should have worn my fancy apron today. Iggy laughs with an awkward flush, the sight of that stupid charming grin already jumbling his thoughts. I just thought I'd, swing by after work? Since you made that offer, after all. That I did. Genzo gives his head a little shake, almost like a dog overwhelmed by its emotions. He rubs at his chin as he starts toward Iggy. Though certain salesmen did not expect their solicitations to yield such promising results. Iggy begins tucking his hair behind his ear, again and again and again. It was just, you were so kind and all, not many people, and I wasn't doing anything else, so... He starts involuntarily shaking his hands. Calm down, your little heart's beating a mile a fucking minute in there. Genzo chuckles gruffly, reaching up to feel for Iggy's shoulder before giving it a reassuring pat. We're just here to look at some bikes, yeah? Why don't I give you a tour of the old shop, Maybe help set that heart of yours more at ease. Genzo's hand drops to the small of Iggy's back, giving it a gentle but encouraging push. And Iggy complies easily, falling into step next to the shorter man with a diffident, okay, as Genzo leans him toward the workbench. Let's ask about him. So, what got you into bikes? Iggy muses as they walk, trying to make conversation. Huh? What made you decide to open the shop? I guess I was just curious, to know more about you. Iggy taps the pads of his fingers together anxiously. Genzo stops, looks up at him. Iggy can feel the stare even though he can't see it beneath those glasses. A snicker, Genzo's lips curl upwards. No one ever asks about me. They're usually more interested in what they want me to do to them, if we even get that far. The grin widens and Iggy catches those large canines flashing at him. Oh. Iggy muses as though he sees. Iggy does not see. Guess it just kinda happens though. I'll be honest. I mean, there's not a lot a guy can do when he ain't go to college. And the world isn't exactly my oyster when it comes to accessibility for, multiple reasons. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pry or anything like that. Nah, just... A shrug. Anyway, you know how it is. I went out for a snack one night and ended up with a shop. Bada bing, bada boom. And since I like to tinker anyway, I figured, what the hell? I can learn how to fix a bike. Give me something to do. And so I did. He finishes and leans back against the side of the workbench, hands dangling over the edge. That's so interesting. Is it? Genzo raises a brow. I mean, sure, He turns back, tapping his fingers on the bench. He seems momentarily at a loss, but this is quickly rectified. So anyway, this is where the magic happens. He runs his hand along the length of the wooden surface with a grin. It's a very nice table. Ain't it, though? You ever held a torque wrench before, hun? A what? Genzo reaches towards the peg wall behind the bench, quickly feeling out 3 pegs from the right to grab a long, shiny object. Try this on for size, he says before placing it in Iggy's uncertain hands. Oh, thank you. Iggy blinks down at it, unsure what to do. My stomach is growling. Lurky lurk. Hi, Kreia. We're playing a yaoi horror visual novel. Sorry. The cold metal feels strange in his hands. But Genzo seems to have already moved on. He tools around Iggy's back, fingers sliding across the length of his waist before reaching for something on the other side of the bench. This here's a crank extractor, he says before placing another item in Iggy's hands. He's just like me for real, just handing shit to people. Look at this. Iggy fumbles slightly but manages to grip this new contraption too. A yellow-handled something, rather with a bulky black end. You need the right tools, see, to extract the right stuff. Genzo grins extra wide at this, his large canines winking at him. Oh. Of course, sometimes it requires a little more persuading. Now he picks up what looks like a long hook with a chain curved beneath it, running his fingers reverently up the metal links. Iggy blinks in silence. Genzo laughs abruptly, tossing the apparatus off to the side. But you seem quite open to new experiences, eh? I suppose so. Iggy chuckles awkwardly, still unsure what to do with the two tools in his hand. I did used to mix all the pops at the soda fountain. It just kind of tasted like maltodextrin, though. Gross tried raw maltodextrin. What the fuck? Genzo responds with a hum. Snatching a tape measure off the bench as he tools back around Iggy's stiffened frame. He traces a finger up Iggy's back, up to his neck, then yanks the measure open from there all the way to the ground. Iggy isn't sure what to do, so he stands there politely. What's your blood type, by the way? Genzo asks as he feels for the raised tabs on the measure, clicking his tongue at whatever it is his fingers ascertain. At this, Iggy's brows furrow. He's not quite sure, to be honest. Though he vaguely remembers his mom mentioning something during one of his many panic attacks at the doctor's office. He has the teeniest, tiniest fear of needles. A negative? I think. Genzo lets the tape measure go with a snap. The sound of it makes Iggy jump. Is there nothing not sugary sweet about you, you candy claret delicacy? The flush returns to Iggy's cheeks, and his eyes drop with a bashful laugh. I don't know. I don't really... Genzo's lips pull back into that wide grin of his, and he gives the top of the workbench a little pat, chubby palms sending curly cues of dust into the air. Though the real beauty of this inelegant easel is more subtle. With a little huff, he hoists himself up onto the thick wood, short legs dangling over the edge. He immediately grabs Iggy's hips, tugging him in against his thighs. It gives us shorter gents a wonderful little boost. Iggy's cheeks are on fire now. He can feel the edge of the workbench digging into his pelvis. But more than that is the soft, possessive pliancy of Genzo's knees tight around his hips, and the lilting dance of Genzo's fingers as they trill up his sides. This is a nice sweater, Genzo muses as he rubs his thumb against the wool. I wanted to wear something nice, Iggy starts before suddenly realizing what a fool he must sound like. He bites down on his lips with a grimace. But I didn't think about the fact that you can't see it. Genzo cocks his head to the side with a little smile. Maybe not, but I can feel it well enough. And fuck, does it feel divine. His hands trace up Iggy's neck, fingers playing with the collar. Did you know that tactile stimulation heightens your sense of taste? Now his thumbs are dipping inside the fabric, sliding against the soft skin of his throat. No, I didn't. Genzo pulls Iggy closer, rubbing his cheek, and then his lips, across the exposed patch of trembling skin right by his carotid. Promptly fuck, I skipped something. Wait. He opens his mouth, then promptly grins, pulling back with what seems to be an air of great restraint. But I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? I haven't even finished the grand tour. He slides off the bench with a plop and wanders away, hum on his breath. as Iggy remains frozen next to it, his hands still gripping the two tools and his face the color of a tomato. I don't hear those scuffling paw pads of yours. Come on! Right. Iggy hastily drops the metal gadgets back onto the wood with a clatter before shuffling after his short guide, head and cheeks still bleary with heat. Genzo has come to a stop next to the two half-repaired bikes in the middle of the shop, their bi-colored hue and green frames shining in the buzzing light of the overhead bulbs. He places a hand on the grip of the left one, giving it an approving shake. This is where the patients go. These two beauties are from a fine gent up in Windsor Falls. Just some basic tune-ups before he takes them on an autumnal retreat at the lake with the little lady. He tilts the edge of his glasses down at this, waggling a brow. Oh, that sounds so nice. Don't it, though? Then after another beat, come here. Iggy pads over obediently. And once he's close enough, Genzo's hand finds his waist, gently guiding him downward. The two of them squat next to the blue bike. Feel it, Genzo says softly before gingerly encasing Iggy's wrist and directing his hands towards the long, smooth frame of the bike. It's cold beneath the pads of his fingers, but with a strange sort of subdued energy. A hum of electricity just beneath the surface. He traces the length of the blue shaft, Genzo's fingers guiding him elegantly along, following the curves as it arcs up along the back wheel. There's a pulse to it. Genzo's voice is barely a whisper now. I'm fucking this up, dude. Low and rumbling. Can you feel it? Yeah, Iggy murmurs in response, weirdly entranced by the buzz nipping at his fingertips, the way Genzo's thicker fingers curl just slightly between his. When they reach the end, Genzo tugs his hand back, gently twisting Iggy's arm so his wrist is facing upward. He slides back the fabric of his sweater, exposing the thin, pale skin. Just like the one here, Genzo continues, dragging the tips of his fingers up and down the length of his wrist. Iggy can't seem to breathe, utterly transfixed by the soothing motion, perfectly in time with the pulsing of his heart. And when Genzo drops his head, pressing his stubbled lips against the skin in soft, gentle pecks tracing up from his palm, he starts to grow incredibly warm. You have such thin skin, Genzo murmurs against his wrist. You can practically feel right through it. Thank you? Iggy is starting to squirm, finding the nubbly brushes of Genzo's stubble against his skin to be very ticklish. I wash it every day. Iggy tries his best to quell the ticklish feeling with a laugh. I wash it every day, he continues, wiggling his fingers playfully. Heh, I'm sure you do. Now Genzo traces his lips up towards Iggy's elbow, his mouth practically encasing the width of his arm as he sucks up greedily on the skin. This only makes the ticklish feeling 5 times worse. Growing and growing, until Iggy's body gives an involuntary spasm and he squeaks, jerking his arm away. But his skin had been so far up... His skin had been so far up between Genzo's lips that the sudden movement pulls it across one of his sharp canines, slicing a thin gash across the surface. Ah! Iggy whimpers in spite of himself, curling his arm in towards himself to observe the damage. It's only the barest traces of a cut. A white translucent scrape across the skin with a few tiny dots of blood peeking through. Genzo's nostrils visibly twitch. It's bleeding! His voice sounds just slightly hoarse. Only a little. You poor dear, I'm sorry. Genzo takes Iggy's hand in both of his, thick fingers massaging and squeezing his palm. I get a little carried away sometimes. His lips curl upward angelically. It's okay, it doesn't hurt. Iggy starts to pull his arm away, only for Genzo to grip it tighter. Cut! His voice squeaks. He coughs and it drops back to its normal level, albeit thick with phlegm. Can I? Iggy blinks, having no clue what it is that Genzo's asking, but finding himself at too much of a loss to ask for clarification given the pleading, needy way Genzo is staring at him. And when Iggy doesn't respond, Genzo must take this as an affirmation, because he leans down, pausing for just a moment to inhale the scent of his arm. Hold on, how long is this? I'm sorry. Does it say? Eh. And okay. Before sticking his tongue out and full-on swabbing it across the length of the cut, Iggy's eyes nearly bug out of his head. "Oh!" he says simply, and Genzo gives a twitch. His body twitch reference. His body shuddering visibly from head to toe with a high-pitched whimper before pulling back. He laughs, scratches rapidly at his chin, laughs again. "Fuck!" He half squeaks, half grunts, then twitches again. "Are you alright?" Iggy's eyes soften in concern. To which Genzo jumps to his feet with a laugh. He pats the saddle of the nearest bike a bit too overzealously, leaning heavily on the bike stand to the point that he almost tips over. "So yeah, just giving them a little tune-up, shmoom up. Tighten some nuts, lubing up the old bearings, replacing some of the worn-down parts, spit shining them all up pretty like, you know? They'll be real beauts when they take them out on their appetizing apple tidings infused joyride through the glorious autumn scenery." Iggy stares up at the man currently looking like he drank about 5 times his weight in espresso. He blinks, raises a finger, lowers it, raises it again. Where do you get the parts?" Genzo doesn't move, and says nothing for a solid 10 seconds, then claps his hand together with a smile. I have go-to vendors, of course. Though I also keep plenty of parts on hand so customers don't have to wait," he says with a spirited waggle of his fingers before turning towards the back wall of shelves. He whistles softly, feeling out one of the boxes on the second shelf, tugging it half off. "Care for a disc brake? Or maybe a saddle or two?" He pulls out the parts and questions cheerily, and Iggy wanders over as he shoves that box back only to tug out another. How about a derailleur? They're good for derailing a conversation." He yanks out something that looks like a mechanical seahorse and holds it out for Iggy. But before Iggy can even think about taking it, he pulls it back, already into the third box in the row. "Now, here we go. Extra chains. I've always had a certain fondness for the little guys, helpful as they are in wrapping things up when they just don't fall into place on their own." He turns with a long length of bike chain between his hands, snapping it tight. Iggy laughs. "I know that feeling. Like with Christmas presents. Except I normally use Scotch tape." "Yes, just like Christmas presents." Genzo muses with a smile as he loops the chain first once, then twice around Iggy's waist, tugging him in. "Gonna grease up his damn sweater." "Tall, delicious Christmas presents." "What type of present opener are you? I always try to open mine carefully so I can reuse the paper." "It's so gosh darn expensive these days," Iggy says with a sheepish laugh. "It truly is. It's a crying shame." Genzo shakes his head, swaying gently back and forth in a sort of pseudo-waltz around the small shop and taking Iggy with him. "Unfortunately for my wallet, I just can't help it. I've gotta rip it off." With this, he yanks back on the chain, sending Iggy stumbling in a dizzy circle and crash-landing legs up in a pile of spare bike tires. What's his fucking problem? A few of them go rolling away as he lets out a small groan, long limbs splayed akimbo against the corrugated rubber. "And now I see you found my tires, which brings us just about to the end of my tour." Genzo meanders leisurely towards the pile, rewrapping the chain around his hands and giving it another few taut snaps. Iggy brings a hand to his head, trying to sit up amongst the spilled jumble of spokes and treads. But just as he manages to get up on his elbows, Genzo is lowering himself down. Holy. Straddling his bow-angled hips, the shorter man leans in with a nonchalant hum, stretching the chain across his shoulders. This one's almost as long as your arms. He cocks his head to the side, tooth poking out between his lips. Ain't that something? Iggy feels the flush return to his cheeks, finding himself altogether and wholly discomposed right now, and becoming more so with each passing second. I do have very long arms. Yes, you do. Long arms. With long, beautiful veins inside. Genzo leans closer, pushing down on the chain and forcing Iggy's head up at an angle. You know, it's funny, because I normally don't get that hungry till the sun goes down. But being around you makes my fucking teeth ache. He brushes his lips against the bottom of Iggy's chin, a tickling nuzzle that sends a chill up and down Iggy's spine like an icy sparkler. Oh? Iggy's eyes widen, his lips trembling around the single syllable. You're hungry? Genzo's lips drop further, his breath hot against the side of Iggy's neck. Absolutely ravenous. Iggy's heart is beating like crazy now, and he clenches his eyes shut, trying to get the words out before he loses his nerve. Because this might be his only chance. This might be... Genzo's hum dances across his trachea. Would you like to come over for dinner? This is followed by a decidedly undignified squeak as Iggy bites down on his lip, his cheeks burning and his heart thundering like a locomotive in his chest. He can't believe he just did that. He's never invited a boy over to his apartment before. He's so embarrassed he could die. He cracks open his eyes to see Genzo just staring down at him, a look of conflicted confusion writ into his brow. Before that mouth of his breaks into a wide grin. He chuckles, leans back. I mean, sure, that sounds nice. Really? Iggy's heart gives an extra buoyant bounce. Out of the shower to this, yeah, we're having a bit of a yaoi moment. Buoyant jounce. Some part of it hadn't actually believed Genzo would accept. Hearing this turns him into a bashful mess, and his lips curl up into a goofy grin. I'll make something nice, I promise. And then a beat later. You don't have any allergies or anything, do you? He asks in a flurry. I wouldn't want you to get sick. Genzo pushes himself up to his feet, readjusting his coat and apron with a small cough before reaching his hand down for Iggy to grab. Nah, I'm easy. And then with an impish smile that stretches from ear to ear, I'm sure anything you make would be to die for. Oh gosh! This makes Iggy flush again. He brushes his hair back, and then again. Would it be best if I just text you my address? Oh, sure, what's your number? Brrr. Oh, okay, there, did you get my text? Zzz. New message. Would you like me to read it for you, oh dark and lustrous immortal one? No thanks, Dougal. I'm good. Great. Now you have my number then, too. So if you can just find the place or something, you can just call. So if you can't find the place or something, you can just call. Yeah, that's great. Great. I'll go ahead and go then. Maybe like 7. Is 7 okay? 7's great. Perfect. I can't wait. See you later. Right. Iggy scuttles off. Got the yaoi-gees. Yowie-gees. Not stopping until he's back outside the shop, the overhead bell jingle jangling his exit, and his heart as he pauses for a moment to calm his racing thoughts against the front window pane. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh! He hides his face in his hands, dorky grin plastered across his face. His heart is still racing, the beat of it throbbing in his head and making it hard to calm down. But when the door of the neighboring liquor store pops open and he gets an abject stare from a man carrying about 5 cases of beer, he forces himself to be normal. Lowering his arms and standing back straight as he runs a hand across his sweaty brow. Be normal, Iggy. Be normal. He lets out a long, slow breath, then glances back at his phone. The texting interface is still open, showing his text with his address. And when he sees the number at the top, he realizes he hasn't added Genzo to his contacts yet. With a few presses, he taps it through. G-E-N-Z-O-U. Genzo. A pause. Then, another tap. He smiles, biting down on his lip. Then glances at the clock and realizes he needs to get going if he's ever going to have time to run to the store and get the food started before his very important guest arrives. He pushes off from the window and starts down the sidewalk, a lilt to his step and a song in his heart. He has dinner to prepare. Do you have anything to say for yourself? Thank you for being so fly. If I was anyone else, I would surely die. Genzo makes the sign of the cross in front of his chest. Ugh. The overhead bulbs flicker, buzzing with a sudden surge of energy as the tools on the workbench pegs slutter. Slutter? You blithering fool! That's the 3rd time this year I've had to clean up after you. I had to send Jerry, for God's sake, man. But he loves it. Being your little lapdog turns him on. How many times must I repeat it to get it through your thick skull that there are matters of etiquette we must follow? You cannot simply feed in a dark alleyway. What do you think this is? The Dark Ages? I was fucking starving. I hadn't eaten for 2 fucking months. You're turning me into the laughingstock of the city. I have a reputation to uphold. 4 fledglings I've sired, but you're the only one who has to make trouble. As the younglings say, get with the program. Well, sorry, I don't have your hoity-toity come-hither allure, Mr. Shack-Me-Not, but it's fucking hard for me. My negative 100 in charisma makes Her Royal Highness's alley snacks the only option for me sometimes. Oh, my poor sweet little baby. The man cups Genzo's chin with an affectionate coo. It's hard, isn't it? Luring meals yourself? He gives Genzo's chin a scritch, and Genzo responds with a whine, nodding his head up and down. You want to come back, don't you, Back when I would give you little treaties I caught myself? And you could just sleep and play like a good little puppy enjoying your snackums, Genzo nods his head more vigorously, his tongue poking out between his teeth. Yes, yes, just a sweet little fledgling, too helpless and feeble to go out and get your own food. No, no, no. Now Genzo shakes his head, letting out another whine as he starts pawing at the air. The man rubs his thumb sweetly against the side of Genzo's cheek, before hooking it under his left canine, jerking it upwards, twisting his head back painfully, and making Genzo yelp in pain. You're not a fledgling anymore, so stop acting like one, you overgrown Chiroptera? I don't know. Figure out how to feed properly, or I'm sending you to the trough until you can stop embarrassing me for 5 minutes. What about 3 minutes? The man groans, the energy of it making the whole shop shake. The bulbs overhead flicker and bounce with erratic crackles until one of them snaps completely, while the torque wrench balanced on the workbench clatters to the floor. He whirls back, eyes flashing, before he lets out a sigh of great restraint, smoothing down the mussed front of his sports coat. You make me want to broil in the sun sometimes. Hey, I'm working on it! Got a new one with enough to last me the better part of a month if I can bag it. Genzo snorts and brings the cigarette to his lips, lighting it with an irate flick. Then I trust we should have no more mishaps? A grunt. Genzo blows out a long trail of smoke. There's a gala this weekend. You will attend? Fuck. That better have been a mispronounced yes, or you'll be going tongueless for the eve. I have obligations, you know. People expect a certain image, and that means presenting my full brood at all social events. Yeah. Genzo sniffs, huffs out a cloud of smoke. Then we shall speak then, and I hope to hear good news for once. So excited I'm about to piss my pants. Holy shit. Hi, Luna. Cool. What kind of GPU is it? No mishaps. Good to see you, buddy. Give you a fucking mishap. Genzo grumbles and turns back to his broom, smoke drifting reproachfully overhead as he gets back to his cleaning. 3060 Ti, huge! Did you get a good deal? Making steaks. 500, Jesus Christ. Ah! Iggy hurls the flaming pan like a shuttlecock inferno. It should be higher, but it's like a game reference when you think about it. Blaze licking the crisp autumn sky as it torpedoes across the lawn of the apartment complex before plummeting straight into the pond with a colossal sizzling eruption of algae-murked water. Jesus. Oh gosh. Iggy washes the steam warble in the air above the pond, brows furrowed. The zesty carcinogenic tang of oil and burnt meat gristle smothers into the air. It was on sale, so... huge! This phone is about to die. What's the first game you're gonna play on it? He returns inside. Not making steaks. Lips tight, he's... How much? How are you just gonna waste a steak? What the fuck? Lips tight, he stares down at the chaotic mess that's his kitchen counter, finding himself a bit at a loss. I think I have a 50-something that I didn't really pay for. I have to check. Lips tight, he stares down at the chaotic mess that's his kitchen counter, finding himself a bit at a loss. Now what to make? He begins perusing his cupboards for ingredients, pulling out a box of powdered mashed potatoes. Hamburger pie it is. 30 minutes later, and he's got a bubbling soup of meat, beans, and mushrooms going in his electric saucepan, and has only injured himself thrice more in the process. By this point, however, he hasn't realized how late it's gotten. And just as he takes a break to catch his breath, his front buzzer goes off. Gah! His eyes jump to the flashing numbers on his microwave. 4:29. 16 o'clock? What's 16 o'clock? Wait. He presses the stop timer button. 7 p.m. His heart leaps into his voice box. Crap! Just a second! Wait, I've lost it. He calls out with an anxious crackle of phlegm as he proceeds to experience 1,000 lives and 1,000 deaths in the span of 0.15 milliseconds. He glances down at the state of his attire. Residual bits of gristle and spatters of condensed tomato soup dot his sweater and jeans like alien constellations. We got the 3060 Ti twins. He grimaces. He's a mess. His kitchen's a mess. And he didn't finish cleaning up the rest of the apartment either. He wanders out into the living area, stands there a moment, then fixes one of the pillows that's askew on his sofa. He heads for the door. It's with a shit-eating grin that Genzo greets him on the other side of his front door. Also, a sardonic tap of the wrist. And here I thought you were just gonna leave me out here. Sorry, I lost track of time. Had a little problem with the stove. Is that the pungent odor of burnt oil simmering on a fine skillet of pond mildew tweaking my nose hairs? Or did you get yourself all buttered up and basted for me? You incorrigible charmer, you. Neither. I think the neighbors must be having one of their grill outs. They're always doing this and that, you know, the neighbors. Iggy wrings his hands together with a laugh. Once it dies down, they both go silent, just standing in the doorway. After a good 15 seconds, Genzo chuckles, scratches at his chin. So, can I come in? Sure, what the fuck? Oh! Iggy snaps out of his awkward stupor with a little jolt. Of course! Sorry about that! He holds the door open, allowing Genzo to stroll inside. He watches as the shorter man slips off his shoes as though by habit on the front mat. I think all the fumes have gotten to my head. He chuckles sheepishly. Fumes? Did I say fumes? I mean, legumes. Ha! I hear that. Beans, the magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you... So, do you have any trouble finding the place? Nah, old Dougal pulled through. Damn remarkable what technology can do nowadays, ain't it? Even told me exactly how many minutes the bus be delayed. That is pretty helpful. Was the bus very crowded? I wouldn't know. I rode on top. Fuckers don't let animals on. Iggy blinks, before Genzo breaks out into a laugh. That was a joke! A joke! Oh! Another beat of silence. Then Genzo reaches up to slide his glasses off. People with blue eyes. Iggy's brows arc. Ah! Genzo immediately blanches. What? You got a fucking problem! No, He drops his gaze, clasps and unclasps his hands. You have very beautiful eyes. This seems to silence Genzo, but only for about 5 seconds. Then he's got a finger up, brows furrowed in irritation as he pokes emphatically in Iggy's directions. Enough with that shit right now! He grumbles and turns away, arms folded over his chest. Though Iggy can't help but notice his slight touch of pink in his cheeks. Sorry, Iggy chuckles, pauses. Looks around the room. He's unsure what's supposed to happen next. Then he remembers his visit to Genzo's shop and his smile returns. Would you like a tour? I can show you where everything is. A tour of the old Glad Pad. I wouldn't say no to that. Genzo's lips curl upward, which helps to give Iggy a spark of reassurance. He grins to himself, willing his built-in hospitality modus to win out over his awkward fumbling. So, we're in the living room right now. He pauses for a moment, trying to think about what would be helpful to describe. There's a couch and a TV. Don't make it sound too enticing now. And a table! Classic. Iggy moves on, shuffling off toward the kitchen. I tried to do a bit of cleaning, so hopefully there isn't anything in your way. A thoughtful host. I like that. Like goons reporting in. Iggy flushes, then pats the nearby door frame. Inside here's the kitchen. You're of course welcome to any snacks and drinks. A grunt. He watches as Genzo wanders after him, feeling out some of the furniture landmarks along the way. Then if you keep following this wall back, there's 2 more doors. The 2 of them head back, and Iggy once again pats the 2 door frames. The one on the left is the bathroom, in case you need it, and my bedroom is on the right. Genzo tucks his thumbs into his belt loop, brows arced. Bedroom, eh? You move quick. I only just got here. Iggy's blood bubbles into a heated froth. I was just letting you know where everything is. I didn't want you to feel lost. Every single nerve inside his body feels like it's been speared with dynamite. Genzo just chuckles. Nah, you're just being real sweet. I know you'll wait till after dinner to seduce me, you scamp. He hums and shuffles off, leaving Iggy standing wide-eyed and overwrought in the corridor. Across the room, Genzo finishes his trek, tracing his hands up and along the backside and arm of the sofa before settling down on the cushions. He spreads his arms and legs with a satisfied sigh. You got some nice digs, Iggs. He pauses, starts snorting. Digs, Iggs, he says again, clearly tickled. Iggy follows after him, fidgeting awkwardly with the sleeves of his sweater. Why does he feel like some kind of alien life form trying to copy human behavior? How do other people just know how to act or what to say in these types of situations? His brain is as helpful as a bumpy log. Tucking his hair behind his ear with a small laugh, he shuffles over towards the speakers by his television. He clicks them on and pulls out his phone. How about some music? I love music. Play me some music. Another laugh. He scrolls through his playlists, then decides on one of his more basic electro swing collections. A safer bet, no doubt, than his video game scores or his jams about cannibalism and neurological disorders. Less likely to weird Genzo out. Once the jaunty beats start floating out from the soft shell casings, giving him, a bit of much-needed white noise, he sits down politely on the other end of the couch. It's okay. The apartment, I mean. He continues the earlier conversation as though there hadn't just been an awkward music break. It has everything I need, at least, though they keep upping my rent every year. Damn, Paul Dano doesn't fuck with nobody. Oh shit. Genzo's nose twitches and he sits up a bit. Now that he's sans glasses, Iggy can see the little amused glint in his eye. What? What? You're like a spooked rabbit or something. Then, come here. He pats the cushion between his thighs. I don't bite. A pause. Too hard. Oh, okay. Iggy scooches over obediently, until he's sitting between Genzo's spread legs. Genzo reaches around to tuck him still closer, hands on Iggy's hips. And Iggy feels the heat lap at his cheeks again. No one's ever held him like this before. He doesn't know where to put his own hands, so he clasps his bandaged fingers cordially in his lap. You're so cute. Thank you. He drops his gaze, finding it hard to look Genzo in the eye. Can I? Huh? Then back up to see Genzo with his hands, fingers curling in and out. Oh, he says simply, which Genzo must take as approval because his hands go to Iggy's cheek, palms warm and just a little sweaty against his skin. Then his thumbs start tracing across Iggy's brow, first following the curves of his... What happened to the food, man? Then down the bridge of his nose. Oh, you wear glasses! Iggy's finding it hard to generate a response to this, so he simply says, yes. Feels like I should have guessed that. You've got the vibe. Oh. Genzo hums in bemused contemplation, thumbs moving upward now to chart Iggy's hairline. On the scale. In gentle massaging circles, they slide across his temple, the motion of it wonderfully calm and soothing. Close your eyes. Iggy does so without thinking, lulled by those soft kneading thumb pads and the sparkly chills of pleasure they're sending all up and along his... Iggy does so without thinking, lulled by those soft kneading thumb pads and the sparkly chills of pleasure they're sending all up and along his scalp. You're so fucking tense all the time. You can just relax. See that? That little heart of yours is beating nice and easy like. Iggy can feel Genzo shift against him. Pressure. Something pressed against his shoulder. Then his throat. A nibbling prick against his ear. His eyes pop open, shuddered gasp between his lips. Genzo's got the edge of his ear between his lips and is giving it soft little nips between his front teeth. What if he wants to nibble on your ears? Barrick's... Holy shit. It's real! Barrick's words from earlier fleeting across his thoughts. He lets out a nervous giggle. The tri-rocket combination of situation, loosened nerves, and ticklish nipping against his earlobe coaxes it from his lips before he can stop it. A hum from Genzo. You like that? He feels Genzo's lips curl into a smile against his skin. before his mouth traces downward and he presses his tongue flat against his carotid, giving it a long, slow lick up the side of his neck. This makes Iggy squeak, and he giggles again. It's very squirmy. Squirmy, squirmy. A puff of laughter. Yes, very squirmy. Before the lips part, sucking up his skin and making him spasm even more. Just a squirmy little worm with two pokey little harmless antennae. Iggy bites down on his lip with another laugh, his whole body starting to writhe and twist. That's silly. Worms don't have antennae. He lets out another squeak, barely managing to hold it together. Yowie! It's at this point that his foible from back in Genzo's shop rushes back to him like hot lime wire. When he'd stupidly injured himself and made things all awkward. All because he can't act normal. Shame floods his cheeks. He can't let that happen again. He has to be normal. He has to. Has to! What the fuck is this option? Dude, I really want to. But I think this is the better option. Tickle fight! Without a second thought, he- What the fuck is happening? Wait, will it let me choose it again? Yes, it will. Wait. If there were anyone in the world capable of explaining what goes through Iggy's head at that exact moment, that person would be a middling visual novel writer gleefully injecting pain upon their characters. Unfortunately, this person does not exist. Only Iggy. And Iggy's knee. And he rams it straight upward with such untempered velocity that it invokes a visceral sort of squelch upon impact with Genzo's gonads. Genzo's face goes white. Blue. A clammy veil of sweat breaking across his cheeks, followed by a shrill creaking noise that at first Iggy attributes to his bedroom door. It's always making strange sounds. But then quickly realizes it's coming from Genzo's throat. Did we kill him? A helium-esque forced vibrato that follows Genzo as he tips stiff-backed over the side of the couch and plummets to the floor. Crap! Iggy is up in a flurry, wrapping his hands with increasingly violent cracks of his wrists. That had perhaps not been the best course of action he could have ever taken at that moment. He dashes to the kitchen, mind running a mile a minute, then has an idea and snags a bag of frozen peas from his icebox. Dude. Without a second thought, he flings his arms up to Genzo's side, digging his fingers in with his own series of squirmy flourishes. Genzo bucks forwards instantly. The fuck? Iggy can feel Genzo's frame jerk and twist in a series of confused pirouettes as he attempts to flee Iggy's roving fingers. But this only spurs Iggy further, using his he's just gonna fuck it up no matter what. Normal guy. Using his advantage in height to get a commandeering angle that allows him prime tickling access to Genzo's ribs. You fucker! Genzo snorts, unable to keep a Genzo snorts, unable to keep a number of glissandoing giggles of his own from escaping as Iggy wrestles him down into the cushions. Iggy's got his hands up and under Genzo's sweater now, full on ravaging him with relentless tickles up and down his sides. Though Genzo finally manages to clamp his legs around Iggy's waist. The sudden squeeze making Iggy pause just long enough that Genzo can yank him down, his own hands going to town on Iggy's abdomen. Bunch of perverts. You like that? You like that, huh? Genzo growls into his ears, lips curling mischievously as Iggy squirms and twists beneath him, releasing one squeal of laughter after another. This continues for another good minute or so before in one overzealous roll, Genzo accidentally sends the both of them tumbling over the side of the couch. Iggy squawks like a frightened hamster as his world goes spinning. And once the dust settles and his vision buoys back into place, he finds himself splayed quite unceremoniously atop a soft, round object. A soft, round, breathing object. Still panting hard, he pushes up on his elbows, Genzo's face not far below his and looking equally as breathless and bewildered. Iggy laughs, swallows. Genzo swallows too, no doubt feeling Iggy's breath on his face and realizing just the type of position they're in right now. One where Iggy can feel Genzo's every breath shudder and hitch below him. Also his moves, which Iggy has to say feel pretty darn good. Soft and comfy and warm pressed up against his own chest as he lies balanced on Genzo's paunch. His heart starts beating faster again, and this time not from the sudden burst of couch calisthenics. A sudden bubbly pop reaches his ears, followed by a hiss from the kitchen. Iggy jerks up immediately. My hamburger pie! He's up in a flurry. Next song on his playlist starts as he stumbles to the kitchen. Only to find the saucepan with his tomato-based concoction currently bubbling up and over the edges as an off-color burnt bean smell fills the air. Ah! He quickly turns down the heat, grabbing his wooden spoon and attempting to stir it back into subservience. Everything okay in there? He hears Genzo ask from the other room. Oh yes, it's fine, it's fine. He responds cheerily, before grimacing. Hopefully it'll be alright. It's probably more than ready to transfer, so he pulls out his casserole dish from the cupboard, ladling over big steaming spoonfuls of meat mush. Once finished, he grabs the bowl of instant mashed potatoes he'd readied and starts scooping it carefully on top. The fluffy yellow dollops plop into the red mixture like ice cream. Plop, swirl, plop, swirl. Scoop by scoop, he coats the pottage in potatoey goodness, a frosting for his pie. He gets so into it, in fact, that he doesn't even hear Genzo slipping into the kitchen behind him, nor his clandestine approach. Not until Genzo's arms are curled around his midsection and his belly is flush with his backside, which makes Iggy's body jolt in surprise. Something smells good, Genzo murmurs, breathing against the small of his back. Does it? That's good? A half-hearted chuckle. It got a little burnt. It's okay. Now Genzo's whole face is pressed against his back. Iggy can feel his breath, hot and damp, through the fabric of his sweater. I don't mind it a little spicy. At this, his hands slide up Iggy's waist, just beneath his sweater and tugging him back slightly. It won't be spicy, there are no chilies, Iggy muses good-naturedly. Then lets out a giggle of surprise as Genzo starts to slowly rock him side to side. A gentle, lilting motion that makes him weaken the knees. Almost like how Luigi lulled the Goombas into dancing during the elevator scene in the 1993 smash hit live-action motion picture Super Mario Bros. Starring Dennis Hopper. Oh. Oh, do you want a taste? Iggy brightens. He feels a snicker against his back, the slow tingle of Genzo's mouth running up and down his spine. Oh yes, I'd love a taste. Iggy hums and scoops out a small dollop of pie onto his wooden spoon, then whirls around. Here you! The spoon smacks Genzo right in the side of the head. A veritable whistle poop. Whister poop? What the fuck is that word? That echoes off his skull with a dull thwack and sends Genzo pistoning straight into the off-color linoleum. I'm losing it, man. I'm fucking losing it. The resulting smack can be heard for miles, or at least approximately 2 apartments over. Genzo whines, rolling onto his back with a defeated flop. I'm sorry! Iggy squawks and promptly throws the spoon into the air. It whacks against the wall, sending sprayed bits of potato and tomato across the kitchen. He kneels down next to Genzo, hands twisting fretfully back and forth. Are you okay? Genzo groans. pushes himself up. He presses a hand into his cheek with a grimace. Only lost a half of my brain all over the tile, but yeah, never been better. Iggy's lips pull back into a shamed grimace. I'm so sorry. He spots a trickle of red leaking from Genzo's lip, then jumps up with a gasp. You're bleeding! He quickly nabs a washcloth, wetting it in the sink before returning to press it against Genzo's mouth. This must startle Genzo because he jerks back. Grabs the cloth from Iggy's hand instead. I can do it, he grumbles and holds the rag against his lip. Okay. Iggy feels his heart fall into his gut, chagrin nipping at his toes. An awkward silence settles over them as Genzo continues to pat at his lip. Before the next song comes on, a bright and cheery bop that breaks the mood. Genzo's nose twitches. He forces a smile, laughs. Hey, no harm, no foul, am I right or am I right? But you were harmed. Nothing a little mouth-watering meal can't solve. His eyes glint mischievously. And I ain't talking about that pie you've got on the stove. Iggy blinks, then flushes, his face heating up like a subatomic particle generator. Oh. This reminds him that he still needs to finish getting dinner ready, so he pushes back up to his feet with a little wobble. The pie at least is almost done, though. I just need to finish the potatoes and melt the cheese on top. Want to wait on the couch? I'll bring it out when it's done. Genzo hoists himself up with a little grunt. All right, whatever you say. Though his words are accompanied by a strange little hint of amusement that Iggy can't quite place. He hands Iggy the washcloth before wandering off towards the living room. Iggy lets out a sigh of relief, glad at least that Genzo still seems in an okay mood, and hasn't left in a storming rage yet. Tossing the rag straight into the trash. Why? He turns back towards the counter to finish up his work on the casserole. Once the potatoes have been adequately spread, he sprinkles an entire bag of cheddar cheese over the top, carefully adjusting the scattered orange curls with pokes of his finger before placing it in the oven. Perfect. Now for the drinks. He snatches the bottle of wine from the grocery bag on the counter, giving its label a satisfied tap with his finger. A $7.99 Cab Sav. He spared no expense. With only a bit of trouble and about half the cork left in the bottle, he pours 2 full glasses, feeling just a bit classy as he totes them proudly out to the living room. Want some wine? Oh, you got any beer? I got this specially for tonight. Awkward. Wine's fine. Wine's great. Genzo tugs at the collar of his sweater as Iggy cheerily places the glasses on the table. I'll be right back. Should be almost done. Where the fuck's the cheese? 5 minutes later, and the steaming hot hamburger pie is centerpieced on his coffee table, with two heaping platefuls stationed neatly on either side. I hope you'll like it. My parents used to make this all the time for me. Though I've changed it a bit in this recipe for my version, Iggy explains with a proud yet slightly anxious twitch of his brow. Smells like a dream. I love it already. Iggy flushes, laughs, downs half his glass of wine, then begins to eat. The room goes quiet, save the music still drifting through the speakers. Nothing but the sound of cutlery on ceramic, the occasional slurp, the visceral mastification of bean and beef slop mounded between molars. Iggy watches Genzo eat. His face is blank, relaying nothing about his current levels of satisfaction with the food and service. Maybe he should say something. The silence feels unsettling. If the date were going well, certainly the conversation would be flowing like water, yes? That is the impression he's gleaned from the many motion pictures he's viewed. Thusly, it must be on account of his own social incompetence. He should fix this by presenting a topic of conversation. Should we get nerdy? Or should we be a little boring? We'll talk about games. So, do you, play any games, perchance? Iggy mentally curses at himself for using the word perchance. Genzo sits up, chews thoughtfully at the considerably sized morsel in his mouth. Swallows. A bit hard for me. Not a lot out there with the, necessary accessibility features. Oh yeah. And even the ones that do end up being too much of a struggle. Ah. Iggy hadn't thought of that. Now he feels guilty. Why, you one of those hot shit gamers? Ah yes, Iggy hadn't adequately described the wall-to-wall gaming memorabilia coating every available space in his apartment. Is the gaming memorabilia in the room with us? Nor the 8 consoles and 523 games organized neatly on his shelves. He'd failed as a tour guide. Oh yes, I love games! That a fact! Genzo brings another melty spoonful of hamburger pie to his lips before washing it down with his 3rd glass of wine. What kind of games you play? Oh, I play all kinds of games, Iggy says with a sheepish chuckle. Genzo sits back, leaning against the couch cushions. Okay, what's your favorite game then? I really like... Final Fantasy 12. Never heard of that one. What's it about? Shaking. It's a sweeping story about political intrigue and airships and betrayal and scientific manipulations of magics and its consequences, and also airships. But even more than that, the story itself is the world. It's absolutely breathtaking, and every locale feels so immersive. It's like you're breathing in the very air of Evelis, I don't know, itself. Oh gosh, and the music! Best soundtrack of any game ever. Hitoshi Sakamoto is a genius of capturing the epic feelings for both fear and adventure as you get out across all these landscapes. From the absolutely haunting and isolating sand sea with its horizon of radiating sands, to the deep, twisting minds of Lusu, shrouded in darkness between the floating cities. Ujerva. I'm sorry. Did I mention there's a lot of Star Wars vibes going on too? Anyway, so it all starts when Van's brother Rex is killed by Bash, who betrayed his sworn duty to Dalamasca, plunging the kingdom into a dark period of despair. But see, actually, it was his twin. And so then... And this is... See, where Balthier comes in. He's a sky pirate with his own airship. Did I mention I like airships? And he's like really, really, really cool. And he has this gun, and he has the suavest voice. And he comes in all dashing, like, swooping in to steal the... And that's pretty much where it leaves off. But also, there's so much beyond the main story. First, there's all these espers you can collect. But some of them are really hard to get because the boss battles are killer and they're located in secret, hard-to-reach places. Was this a bad option to pick? Like, there's one in this place called the Great Crystal, which is like a huge maze with no map and all the paths look the same. But it's also like super creepy because the further you go up towards where the Esper is, it gets darker and darker and darker. Holy fuck! And I've played the game like 6 times in English, Japanese, and Chinese on multiple different platforms. And I got all the achievements too! Which was really hard, mind you, because you have to do this brutal boss run with all the hardest bosses in the game, including the one that has 50 million HP. So yeah, that's basically it. Iggy finishes, placing his hands in his lap with a smile. Are they talking about Final Fantasy XII? Yes. Never played this game in my life. It's his favorite game, apparently. Then immediately goes into shock. Oh no. Oh no, he did it again. He talked too much. Oh no, no, no. Across from him on the couch, Genzo stares at him. Iggy can feel a cold, clammy sweat forming across his skin, drizzling down his hairline. Genzo raises a brow, blinks. Then... Damn, sounds pretty cool. Maybe I'll have to try it out sometime. You really think so? Iggy's insides promptly explode. Yeah, I mean, you sure made it sound like a good time. I could use a little swashbuckling adventure in my life, eh? Plus, it was cute how damn excited you got. Ain't never heard someone who could talk for 2 fucking hours like that. Iggy chuckles, his face on fire and his chest buzzing with so much exhilarated energy he feels like he could float to the moon. Maybe sometime we could play it together. If it would be easier. He begins tugging at his fingers. Surely I'll play it one day too. Oh? You gonna sit on my lap so we can get all warm and cozy during this proposed gaming sesh? You adorable little gamer nerd, you. Iggy's face goes even redder. If you want. Genzo laughs, then blinks, then seems to lose his earlier spunk, his lips pressed together. Iggy glances over in worriment. What's wrong? Did something happen? Genzo immediately perks back up, his lips pull back in his usual wide grin. Nah, just... Need a smoke. You mind if I step outside? Oh, of course, it's no problem. I need to clean things up anyway. Genzo gets up with a little hum, reaching for the cart in his pocket as he feels his way towards the door. Meanwhile, Iggy begins tidying up the dinner paraphernalia, first carting away the plates and silverware, then hauling the half-eaten dish of hamburger pie back into the kitchen. He sets to work quickly, rinsing off the ceramic to load into the dishwasher, and packing up the leftovers into a Tupperware. Then it's a few swift swipes with his flour sack towel to rid the living room table of crumbs and stray beef dollops. Followed by a soak of the empty wine bottle, wanting to rid it of any residue and cork bits before dropping it into the recycle later. When finally he's satisfied with the state of his apartment, at least in regards to after-dinner ablutions, he tosses a glance at the clock. 11:24. Oh gosh, that late already. He tucks his hair behind his ear, blinking, then turns back towards the living room. Genzo's just coming back inside, bringing with him a draft of cold air and a whiff of burnt tobacco. Ah yes, Genzo. 11:24. Genzo. Late. Sleep. Time to sleep. Time to sleep? Time to sleep with? Iggy's skin feels like it drops to about negative 300 degrees Kelvin. A clammy sweat breaking— what the fuck? I need to use the restroom. I'll be right back. He walks, stiff-legged, towards the bathroom, slamming the door just a bit too hard and immediately sinking into a squat on the linoleum. Ah! He clutches his hands in his hair, brain about to leak out through his ears. He swallows hard. He's never... It's not like he doesn't like Genzo. Heck, he likes him very much, thank you kindly. His sweet smile, the way he makes him feel like he's the only person in the world. How he feels against him, soft and warm. But thinking about that, doing that, why is it making his body shake like he's going 90 miles an hour down the bumpy gravel road to his grandparents' farm? He pounds the fat of his palm against his forehead with a frustrated whimper, then pushes himself to his feet. Looks in the mirror. You can fuck that guy! I believe in you! At the lanky, sickly-looking fellow staring back at him beneath the unkempt mess of white hair. What's wrong with him? Well, many things. He blinks, watching his dark eye bags roll up slowly beneath his eyes. There's a cute guy out there in his apartment that seems to like him very much. Which is a mother effing miracle. When has literally anyone else in his life ever shown a lick of romantic interest in him? And he's in here hiding because he's too afraid to take things to the next level. He's such a loser. He frowns, The man in the mirror frowns back. He slaps at his cheek with a groan. Get it together, Iggy! Get it together! And this time, when he looks back in the mirror, he gives himself a fierce growl. He grips the edge of his sink tightly between his fingers, biting down on his lips so hard he tastes blood. You're gonna march out there and ask that nice, charming man if he'd like to spend the night with you like a normal effing human being. A nod. He pushes up and away from the sink, pulls the door back open, walks out. So, I noticed it was getting late, but, did you maybe want to spend the time to hit the old hay? When did you? You were in there so long, I figured you'd pulling the old slip into something more comfortable trick, you sly dog. Genzo laughs, arm out to give Iggy a zealous pat on the shoulder. How? Feels his sweater. I see I was mistaken. Iggy forces a chuckle. Sorry, I was just pooping. Well, if that ain't enough to get me in the mood, I don't know what is. The confidence that had so impelled him to exit the bathroom is rapidly dwindling. Anyway, sure, yes, right, it's time for bed. Genzo begins pushing him towards the bedroom with a buoyant little bounce of his hands. Great, then you actually go change now while I go lay like Bob Dylan on your big brass bed. What the fuck? Iggy feels his insides start to eat themselves. He shuffles over towards his dresser, pulls out a t-shirt. His Dragon's Dogma 2 one. This should make him feel a bit better, right? His warrior clothes? Kneading the fabric between his thumbs, he glances back to see Genzo perched happily atop the bottom of the... This is too loud. Okay. I can't hear myself. Kneading the fabric between his thumbs, he glances back to see Genzo perched happily atop the bottom of the bed like an excited puppy, all smiles. He swallows. Slowly pulls his sweater off so he can change. Stupid. Why are you so stupid? He ambles over to the laundry basket to dump his sweater and jeans. Then he heads back to the bed. Past Genzo at the bottom. To the top, where he pulls down the sheets, gives his pillows a few molding whumps with his hands, then climbs politely inside. Genzo twists back, confused at first, then rolling over with a grin. He crawls over to him, knees and palms sinking into the cushion of the mattress with heavy creaks. Finally! He pats around until he finds Iggy's knees, then trundles forward. Been waiting for this all night. Oh, you have? Iggy chuckles nervously. Holy moly. He watches Genzo climb on top of him, straddling his hips as his hands press down on the mattress to his either side. His heart thumps loudly in his chest. Genzo's head dips, face pressed into his belly. Sniffing and rubbing his nose up and across his chest, his arms, his shoulders. Fuck, I'm getting so hungry again. A pause. Before he laughs and pops back up, bringing a clumsy finger to Iggy's lips. And don't you go trying to distract me with snacks or any of those other conniving trips of yours, you scamp. I'm only hungry for one thing. I would never. Iggy turns his gaze towards the ceiling, face simultaneously hot and cold as he feels Genzo breathe heavily against his collarbone. He doesn't notice Genzo's eyes starting to turn red. You smell phenomenal. God! Genzo's face is pressed against his neck now. The stubble rubs against his skin, prickly and itchy. You must taste amazing, comes the whispered murmur between nips against his throat. Iggy doesn't say anything this time, simply lying there. A clammy sweat forming across his skin. He can feel a poke against his neck now. A sharp pinpricks tracing up and down, sliding through the slick condensation from Genzo's breath, then slowing, pressing. Genzo's body starts to arch upwards, until... Wait! The croaked cry pushes past his lips before he can stop it, and Genzo stills, apparently thrown for a loop. Iggy clenches his eyes shut, lips pressed together, then lets out a shaky breath. I've never done this before, and I thought it would be okay, but I'm feeling really weird. Genzo doesn't move, and Iggy's body starts shaking like a leaf. He sniffs, a cold rush of shame washing through him. Would it be okay if we maybe just cuddle instead? Genzo finally does move. He sits back, staring down at Iggy, his face unreadable. His brows descend, a sort of weird, guilty softness in the way his eyes darken. He stays motionless another good 15 seconds, before rolling over, falling down onto the pillow beside Iggy. One arm across his forehead, he stares up blankly at the ceiling. Iggy turns towards him, body curling in on itself instinctively. That was wrong, wasn't it? And then even quieter. I messed it all up. This seems to snap Genzo out of it, and he glances over in Iggy's direction, brows furrowing. What? No, it's fine. A pause. Just lost my appetite is all. Oh. Silence. Iggy sniffs, nervously curling his fingers into the sheets. Then softly, hesitantly, as though prepared for the worst, presses his face against Genzo's shoulder. He doesn't see Genzo's brows arc, nor the touch of pink that spreads across Genzo's cheeks. But he does feel Genzo turn towards him, Genzo's arm curling tentatively around him, warm and soft, like a protective cocoon. And he does feel Genzo's face press ever so gently against the top of his head. Cheeks mashed against his curls, breath warm against his scalp, lips parting in a mouth, it's fine, that curls around him like a calming blanket. As they share that connection of uncertainty, folded close in the dark. Oh shit. Wait, he's leaving. Is it finally over? This is the end of episode 1. Thank you for playing! Please save your game here so you can continue once the next episode is released. Is there an episode 2? Okay. That was a nice little story. Maybe tomorrow we don't do another visual novel. The stuttering was crazy. Well. Is anyone still live? Not really. Not anyone I know. Take care, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging out with me. Adios.